We've cut across now to these pictures that we are getting in from the national capital, and that is the NSA Doval, who's earlier met with the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. There have been a lot of key issues on the table about the India-US bilateral ties that have been discussed, and we'll just get in our colleague Abhishek Kapoor to throw more light on exactly what those issues are. Abhishek, there has been a lot of talk and a lot of focus on this particular meeting. Earlier, the US Defense Secretary Abhishek also met with the Raksha Mantri, and all this happening just weeks before the Prime Minister will also be in the US.
Well, yes, this is a significant visit of the US DefSec and Mr. Austin. They're having high-powered engagement sessions in New Delhi. And he has met the defense minister earlier, and now a call on by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. And the meeting lasted quite some time. Very important discussion happening deeply, and some of the talking points which our sources tell us were discussed between the two leaders were specific to technology transfer, niche technologies in which the Americans have expertise, and there were some issues about cooperation between India and US on different issues, hitting a sort of stage because on the issue of tech transfer, that's something which has been discussed, which might translate into, for example, the GE jet engine deal getting signed when the Prime Minister visits the United States later this month. Also, Mr. Austin and NSA Doval discussed issues of coercion happening in some countries in the Middle East, South Asia, and Southeast Asia, and that freedom of action of these countries should be preserved. Essentially, this was with reference to China and the kind of conduct we have seen from the Chinese happening vis-a-vis, say, Sri Lanka, vis-a-vis Afghanistan, vis-a-vis some countries in the Middle East, even in Southeast Asia, vis-a-vis Philippines and Vietnam, for example. So I think a lot of coming together of interest, coming together of thoughts between the two leaders on these aspects, and China does not get named, but then the reference obviously. Then there was discussion also on trusted sources of supply chains, resilient supply chains, which again is a reference to the manner in which the Chinese have conducted post the COVID pandemic and the unreliability of the Chinese supply chain. So I think a very fruitful conversation happening between NSA Doval and U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. As I said, all these issues that have been discussed today, particularly the issue of niche technologies, that's going to have a bearing on what deals get signed, for example, when Prime Minister visits the United States on a state visit later this month.
All right, Abhishek, lots to talk forward about. These are going to be very, very important meetings. We'll wait for more details as far as that big meeting is concerned for the moment. Thank you. It's time for us to